Okay, hello and welcome to Total War Rome Remastered, or Rome Total War Remastered, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be doing a full Imperial campaign as the Greek cities, and this campaign is actually really fun because if you look at it in theory, you start off spread across the Mediterranean with 4 different settlements, all the way from Sicily to Asia Minor, and right on your doorstep you've got several different factions who can give you a headache if they come to attack you. So you've got the Romans right next to Syracuse, you've got Carthage also on Sicily. Over in the Greek mainland, you're pretty much completely surrounded by Macedon, and then over in Asia Minor, you've also got Pontus and the Seleucid Empire right next door. So in a way, you're kind of surrounded by enemies, but the game really does give you all the tools you need to succeed, and it's actually not really a particularly difficult campaign at all, and it's a lot of fun. You have incredible economic potential, and you have fantastic units. We are therefore going to be playing on the highest possible difficulty, and because this is my first campaign on Remastered, I'm pretty happy just to be going with the full Remastered balancing. You can of course switch any of this stuff off, but we're just going to be going full Remastered, but for the most part it's the same game you will have already experienced, unless you haven't played Rome Total War at all before, in which case hopefully this will still be helpful for you in seeing how to kick off a Greek campaign. Imperial campaigns are of course very long, so this isn't going to be over until we control at least 50 provinces, and I'm therefore going to take the opportunity to direct your attention to the description of the video, where you can find a playlist link in order to catch any future episodes in one place. And if not many have been uploaded yet, you can of course subscribe to the channel to catch them as they come out. But without further ado, let's get into it and let's have a closer look at the starting position for the Greeks. So beginning here in the west, we have the city of Syracuse, which is pretty isolated from the rest of our towns, and you can see immediately to our north we have the Scipii Romans, who we're pretty much inevitably going to end up at war with. But before we go to war with them, we're going to send our diplomat up, and we're just going to see if we can exploit them slightly. This is kind of in their interests, so I'm not going to call this an exploit, but you know, it's more in our favour than theirs. We're going to ask them for trade rights, and we're going to ask for money in return. They decide not to go for it, so there you go. They decided that's not a great offer for them. I'm going to try that again, but this time I'm just going to ask for 100 denarii, see if they're willing to go for that, which they are. That's perfect. And next up, I'm not really worried about them coming to attack me. I think pretty much we will probably attack them first, or they will come to attack us either way. So I'm pretty happy to give them map information, and I'm going to go and ask for 700 denarii for that, which they accept. Perfect. So you can see here there's a few new things like reputation, strength comparison, and relationship. This is all new. I think reputation was in the original Rome, but it wasn't really spelled out, or at least it wasn't made clear to you. But I think in order to maintain your reputation, you just want to do things like not breaking agreements. I don't think attacking them counts as a broken agreement. I think if you just have trade rights, that's fine. But if you have, for example, a military alliance and you break that, it would of course make it less likely that people will ally you in future. As for the town itself, it starts off really strong, so we've already got a stone wall, and we've already got a basic barracks, which enables us to recruit militia hoplites. Militia hoplites are not great, and to be honest, with this town being as isolated as it is, I'm probably actually going to use it as a platform to hopefully take over the whole of Italy. So we want this to be really strong. We want to go into the building browser, and we want to go straight in and pick up a militia barracks. That's going to enable us to recruit hoplites, which is going to be a big step up on militia hoplites, because if you look at militia hoplites, if we can see that their morale is 2, and that is the big problem with militia hoplites. They do just break so quickly, they're not a reliable unit at all. So we're going to be trying to go over to hoplites as soon as possible. Over in Sparta, we can actually already recruit hoplites. Sparta is an interesting town, because although it is our capital, it doesn't actually start with any walls whatsoever. And I'm planning to leave this town pretty quickly, because I want to get to Athens before Macedon can. So I'm going to throw up a wooden palisade, and I'm going to start recruiting a unit of hoplites. And we're going to take all of these, and do note here that we have a unit of Spartan Hoplites right from the start, and this is an incredibly powerful unit. It's kind of crazy that the game gives this to you. It did in the original game, so nothing's changed on that front. It's a really powerful unit, and particularly on turn 1 of the campaign, it's really just a bulldozer, and we should be able to really start powering through our opponents if we make good use of that. We've also got a unit of hoplites and a unit of militia hoplites, and of course our faction leader, who is pretty solid. He starts with +5 command. which actually enables us to do night battles, which wasn't a thing in the original Rome. It was in Barbarian Invasion, but it is now a thing in the original game. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to try and avoid walking over Macedon's lands. I'm going to take one of these boats, I'm going to sail it all the way over, and we're just going to pile most of our units into there and send them across to Athens, hopefully before Macedon goes to attack it. And then over here in Rhodes, do note that we start off with the Colossus of Rhodes, which is a massive boost to our trade income. That's really solid. It's really good that we get that, and that's one of the reasons why we're going to end up with an absolutely crazy economy by the late campaign. And in fact, that's kind of my secondary goal for the campaign, not just military power, but to actually have a ridiculously powerful economy. And frankly, I'm not opposed to just sending diplomats around. If we have a ridiculous surplus of money, I might just start bribing people and see how far we can go with that. It should be interesting. We literally have one of the best possible economies as this faction. We can see we've got 4 different types of temples available to us. So if we have a quick look at the building browser and we scroll down to our temple selection, there are really 2 temples that I think are relevant. One is the shrine to, if I can just remind myself, one is the shrine to Hermes, which gradually increases the amount of trade. So that just makes an already extremely rich part of the world even richer. So if you're playing as the Greeks, you can just get ridiculous amounts of income from trade, and I think that's going to be really fun. But the other one, of course, is the shrine to Nike, or Nike? I'm not actually sure how that's pronounced. The shrine to Nike, I'm going to say. And that is going to increase the experience of our units from the moment we recruit them. So that's another really solid one, particularly in towns where we're going to be producing a lot of units. I'm not going to go for either just yet, because if you look at the Shrine to Hermes, and this also applies to the trader and buildings like that, if you look at the Shrine to Hermes right now, it gives us a trade income bonus of 10%. But when we look at our settlement income, I actually need to add it to the queue first. So if we throw the Shrine to Hermes into our build queue, we can see that right now that's actually only going to give us an extra 7 denarii per turn. So that's pretty poor. Really not worth going for at this stage. At this stage, I'm probably actually just going to hold back on this town altogether. Communal farming is much better for income. We can see that's an increase of over 70. And that only costs 1200 to build, so that's not bad at all. Pergamum is really going to be our main priority, I think. This is going to be the town we're going to be trying to lay down a bit of a foothold from. Again, this is a bit of a border town. We have Pontus to our east. We have the Seleucids to our south. There's also Halicarnassus, which is very well defended for a rebel town, so we're not going to be going for that. But in this town, we just want to be as strong as possible, as quickly as possible, so we're going to get the militia barracks, and we're going to start training up hoplites as soon as we can. We're going to recruit some peasants for the sake of keeping order, and we're going to step the rest of our units out of the town. And we can see here, this is actually part of the same, I believe, mercenary pool as Rhodes and Crete. So that means we should have immediate access to a few Cretan archers. Just the 1 unit of Cretan archers, but they do regenerate really quickly here. And we can also get some mercenary hoplites. Mercenary peltas, which have been slightly buffed, they have slightly longer range now. Rhodian slingers and mercenary hoplites. I think for now we're just going to stick with the Cretan archers. And we're going to move in this direction, which is going to take us towards a rebel town. Let's actually send the diplomat up too, just to confirm. Can't actually see it yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a rebel town like right there. And then what I'm actually going to do, I'm not sure this is going to work, but I'm going to send my ships up in this direction. And we're going to try and jump across as quickly as possible. And we're going to try to take Byzantium before Thrace can get there, because Thrace normally gets Byzantium very quickly, and we definitely want that. It's going to be such a solid city in the late campaign. Definitely makes sense to try and grab it as soon as possible if we can. And that saves us having to take it from one of our opponents. So going back to Sparta, we're going to take our spy here, and we're going to send them over to Athens. Hopefully he gets in without being killed, which he does. So we can now check out what their guards are. So in Athens, we have to take down 3 units of militia hoplites and 1 unit of peltasts, which is fair to say is going to be very easy with the unit roster that we currently have. I would like to have a little bit more in terms of ranged units. We just step this guy out, let's see what we can get. So there are no mercenaries currently available here, that's not great. Let's actually send everyone across straight away just to jump in the boats. I'm going to leave the peasants behind just to keep order. And over in Thermon, we're going to recruit some more peltasts. We actually start off with a unit of Cretan archers here, which is great. We're going to take all of these guys, with the exception of a few peltasts, which we'll leave behind as guards. We're going to go to the north, and we're going to try and grab this rebel settlement before the Brutii Romans can get there. And that leaves us with just 1,300 denarii left to spend. We're already doing stuff here. In this town, we can afford to go for communal farming. That's going to be really good for income in the early game. So let's just go for it. Check our notifications. It tells us that the spy has been successful. So let's just get rid of that. And since we spent all of our starting denarii, I think we're good pretty much just to end the turn there. I'm not going to go for an attack on Masana just yet. I'm going to try and build up for a few turns. And then the last thing to do is to go through our settlements, which are all pretty happy right now. And if we can get away with it, we're just going to push them all up to a very high tax rate. Which looks like we should be fine just about everywhere, with the exception of Pergamum. So that's going to give us a really strong income going straight into the second turn. We should be able to actually check that if we go to the financial summary scroll. We can see that we're expected to go straight up to 2,734 denarii at the start of next turn, so that's all good. Let's just end the turn and let's see what happens. So Macedon is on the move. They're starting to move towards Athens, so we need to make sure we go for that straight away next turn. Not sure exactly what Thrace is up to, but we have to be a little bit careful with that. Let's see where this is. Okay, so that's up there. We could actually board our ships right now. And we can land pretty close to Byzantium. I think that's worth a go. I'm going to go for Byzantium first. I think that does make sense. We can actually see the Thracians right there. Their faction leader is coming in to take it, so we want to just grab that before they can. Not actually sure what they have. Let's see what we can see. So they have 2 experienced units of hoplites, some peasants, and some peltasts. That's probably actually slightly better than what we have, so I'm going to recruit some Thracian mercenaries, just so that we're a little bit stronger against their infantry. And let's just walk up to this. I don't think they'll accept a bribe, but bribes have apparently been rebalanced. Obviously they're not going to join us for only 1,400 denarii, that's not too surprising. So Pergamum is still busy, we're going to keep recruiting units. Let's go for some more militia hoplites. Over in Rhodes, we're going to pick up a bireme. I should have actually loaded my units here onto the ships. I don't really need them in this town, but I will do that next turn. Back in Syracuse, we're going to pick up some peasants just to hold the fort when we leave to attack the Romans. And then back in Sparta, we're just going to have to go for... I think an early diplomat does make sense. We don't have too much gold to spend, and we do want to send them out to keep getting trade rights, so I think that's a good idea. If we look over at Apollonia, I'm pretty sure we can probably handle this. Yeah, so it's 1 unit of militia hoplites and 2 units of peltasts. That should be completely fine. Let's just go for it. Okay, this guy does actually have 4 command stars, so we can actually go straight in with a night battle. Okay, so we can see the militia hoplites right at the front there. So let's just go in straight away. Let's try and shoot them in the back if we can. And if they want to come out and try and charge us down, that should be fine. So they have a couple of units of peltasts. We have a unit of General's Bodyguard. So he should be pretty able to handle all of these if they do come out. If they don't, we can hopefully just keep hitting them with our Cretan archers. We do outrange them. So we should be pretty safe here. Alright, let's send the general in just as moral support, and let's see if we can do this. So it looks like they're going to fall all the way back to the town square. Hopefully we can hit them pretty soon. We are running after them, they have slowed down. They're just about in range, so we should start hitting them in the back. So I wasn't a fan of arrow trails. I kind of thought, having never played the newer Total Wars, I thought I wouldn't be a fan of them. But I do actually find them really helpful. They do tell you quite a lot, and I don't think we're going to turn them off. I probably will leave them on, I might change my mind, but just to mention, I am planning to keep those on for now at least. I'm less sold on the actual range markers. I think they're quite useful in like the tactical view, but in this kind of basic view I'm not convinced we particularly need them. We can see these guys are starting to come towards us now. Fortunately, my units are all in skirmish mode, so we don't have to worry too much about that. We should be able to get out of their way with no problems. Pathfinding in towns is still the same as it always was, and if you played the original Rome, you'll know that means it's at times not always the most reliable. But I already very much know what to expect from that, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to try and move these guys out manually. Actually turn skirmish mode off just to be safe. Alright, so these guys are getting pretty close now. I think we have already done quite a lot of damage to them. We've taken out about 30 of them. And by the time they get close, they're probably going to be starting to struggle a bit. It says they're still eager, but we already know, having already looked, that they only have a morale stat of 2. So we should be able to break them without too much trouble. These guys are in phalanx stance, so we can always engage them. And then we've got these guys to go around and flank, so we should be completely fine with this. They've now lost about a quarter of their number. They're coming towards our phalanx. They've also got the peltas coming up behind, which is actually a little bit inconvenient because we can't really reach them until we've routed the hoplites, but once we have routed the hoplites, we should be completely fine. We definitely want to stay on flaming ammo because it is going to lower their morale even further. We can see they're now steady. I think that's a slight decline on fresh, I'm not completely sure. Okay, here they come. They have decided actually not to engage our hoplites immediately. They're going after our ranged units instead. We've managed to rout them already, that's perfect. Let's try and stop these guys from firing at will. And let's just try and chase these guys straight through to the town square. A little bit risky. This is the highest difficulty, of course, so that does mean generals can randomly get themselves killed, but this should in theory be massively in our favour. So let's just run in and try and rout them as soon as we can. If we can actually kill their general, that would be perfect. That should scare these guys quite a lot. I'm not sure if this is him running through the crowd. No, this is just a normal militia hoplite, so we should be able to see the man himself somewhere. There we go. We've scared them all off, and there's no need to keep playing. We have taken the town. Okay, the problem with this town is it's really weak, and Thermon is also really weak, so we can't really do much with this. We can't actually afford to do anything right now, but it's only a town, so all we can really do is get a first tier barracks, which enables us to recruit militia hoplites. That's not really great, that's not really going to get the job done, but it is the best we can do from that particular town. We can see now that we've done a night battle that the campaign map has turned to night as well. I will mention for full disclosure that I'm currently playing on mostly medium graphics, and I've also turned down the coloration as much as possible, so the campaign map usually looks a little bit more saturated than this, but I think these are probably my preferred settings. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab these hoplites, we're going to jump in the ship, and we can still have enough movement points to get over to Athens before Macedon can. We're going to launch the siege, and we'll just see what they do. So there's 3 units of militia hoplites in there, which means if we can get ourselves a few range units, this should be massively in our favour. But right now, all our range units are off to the west. We can afford to recruit another unit of peltas from Thermon, so let's just do it, and let's actually send the 2 units we currently have over in this direction to help reinforce. I think Macedon is... definitely don't want to do that. I think Macedon is currently blocking us off, so hopefully they're going to move off. I'm not completely sure, but let's just go with this. And because we've left this town, we're going to have to drop the tax rate to normal tax. That is all of our gold gone, but we can probably get a little bit more if we just go over to Carthage. We'll speak to Hanno, and we'll do the same thing to him. We're going to offer him trade rights. Going to ask for a few hundred denarii, see if he accepts. They want to give us 200 instead, that's completely fine. We're going to offer them map information, and we're going to ask for... let's see how far we can take this. So, 1,100. They're going to give us 800 instead, that's completely fine. Okay, so that gives us an extra 1,000 to play with. Let's see what we can do. So one thing we can do is we can build a port, and if we do build a port, we can see that compared to the temple, pretty massive increase in trade. Plus 123 per turn, it's going to pay for itself pretty quickly. Obviously there is the caveat that ports can be blockaded, so that's not necessarily guaranteed income, but most of the time that is going to pay for itself. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a unit of peasants in Apollonia to help the public order, and we're going to turn them to a very high tax rate, at least until some of our units leave. And actually, something I didn't really take account of is Masana has been left pretty much completely open. And there's no point trying to keep peace with the Romans, it's not going to work, so I'm just going to leave We should be fine just leaving the peasants behind. Let's go attack Masana while it's weak. Let's set up some rams. We can see they have got a family member there, but I'm not really worried about him. I don't think he can stop us. And in the town itself, they've actually left their faction leader on his own. So we can attack him next turn. We've got loads of spear-based units. He is going to be on horseback, so that's going to be massively in our favour. Okay, so we are of course at war with the Romans immediately. That's not ideal, but like I say, it's completely inevitable, so I think we have to accept it, and we can see the Brutii have already landed on our shores. Okay, let's not mess around, let's just take this town as soon as we can. He does have a massive unit of bodyguards, 97 men in total, but I think as long as we can lure him into our spears, we should be fine.
And remember this above all, the gods are watching from Olympus. Make sure they are not ashamed.
Okay, so we have got a couple of towers here we have to be a little bit careful of, but realistically they're not going to be able to stop us until we get to the town square. He's probably not going to leave the town square. He has got so many soldiers with him. They are really tough, particularly on this difficulty. They can really melt through your units. But if we can get him to charge straight into a phalanx, we should be pretty okay.
The enemy gate is down! Our battering ram has done its work.
Okay, let's have these guys drop the ram, and we're just going to send all of our spears in. I'm going to try and form up a bit of a block. We do have some archers, which have pretty good range, so we might be able to lure him in. Probably best we lead with the hoplites, so we're going to send them in first. We're going to keep the general close by just to reinforce our morale, and we're just going to see how this goes. Okay, so if we send our archers in just behind these guys, I think they're probably not quite in range yet, but I think this is going to work. So 2 units of hoplites, we're going to send the general in behind, we're going to line these guys up at the front here. This should definitely be close enough. But we're definitely going to need at least 2 units. These guys are probably going to charge towards us really quickly once they start getting fired on. Right, I think that should be good enough. Just to be absolutely certain, I'm going to send up a couple more units of militia hoplites. I'm going to keep the general up close, and I'm going to bring these guys up. Just to start shooting on them, hopefully bait them in. Do need to be a bit careful here because our archers don't like to fire if they are in amongst the rest of our units, so in fact, we don't need to be this cautious. I'm going to send the militia hoplites back. I'm going to keep the archers tucked just in front of our general. Hopefully facing forward. Right, that should do. Let's pull the general back. I think we should be fine without him. We could try and flank, but I don't think that's likely to work. These guys are actually still not quite in range. We're gonna have to go slightly closer. Right, hopefully this will work. Yeah, these guys have to get really close. I don't trust them not to get charged there. It's really risky. Hopefully these guys will just about form up in time. Let's bring our general up. Okay, so we're officially firing on him. We're actually going to do pretty much nothing to him, so he doesn't have to respond if he doesn't want to, but unsurprisingly, as soon as he gets fired on, he does start moving. He's not going the way I expected him to. I think he is coming to try and charge us, but just leaves the town square by a bit of an awkward route. Okay, so these guys haven't really formed up. That is a bit alarming. We're gonna just have to hope this works. They are kind of charging us head on. They have already engaged. Our archers are not doing a good job of skirmishing, so let's just move them back manually. Let's keep our general nice and close. Okay, so they've not really properly charged us. We've not got the best formation here, but for the most part we are still in phalanx form. Hopefully we can just about hold them off. They're slightly surrounding us. I might have to send the general in just to reassure these guys. Let's see this. So they think they're evenly matched. Our guys think they're going to lose. Okay, that's not a good sign. We're going to bring up the militia hoplites. And I'm not sure I can actually pathfind my way through here. Yeah, not really, so I'm not going to send the general in. I'm going to go back. Kind of breaking up my own formation here. Just going to rally the troops. As I think they're going to try and go back. Yeah, you can see they've just ridden straight through us. They're in amongst our spears, but we've not been able to kill that many of them. That's actually fine if they want to go back, because our formation has been so messed up that it's probably for the best. And we can actually potentially send our stronger unit forward to be the front line now instead. That should work. That should cover the entire path. They're probably going to come back in. Bring our archers back up. Okay, so we've got our stronger unit of hoplites in front. We've got them all set to guard mode, so they should brace before they get charged. I'm not convinced by this formation, but hopefully they will respond. They're kind of rearranging themselves. There we go, that looks slightly more promising. Let's see how these guys respond to being fired on. I think they're in range. Surely. Yep, so we're about to start firing on them. It's not the most efficient way of doing it, but should work. These guys have not really gone all the way along as I hoped they would. There's a bit of a gap. They are going to try and come towards us the same route they did before. I think this is going to be a very similar situation. They're going to be able to get in kind of towards the sides, but we do have this row at the back, which will hopefully keep us relatively safe. Okay, so they've decided not to go for us. Let's see if we can rearrange. Really is better to be as safe as possible here. There we go, so that's a lot more promising. Let's try and fire on them again. So I'm not sure all these guys are going to be firing, let's see. Okay, so some of them are firing, that should be enough to bring them in. Just give them a moment. If they don't want to come towards us, that's completely fine, we can just keep weakening them. Okay, here they come. They're being very indecisive. They keep coming towards us, going back. It's not really in their interest to come towards us. It's not really going to work for them. Probably the best thing they could do, if they were controlled by a human, would be just to let us use all of our ammo. But no, they are coming in now. They're going for a charge of sorts. We managed to kill a few of them. We can see their faction leader right there at the front. So hopefully we can kill him off. Perfect. So all we need to do now is we just need to rout this unit, which might not happen just yet. They are wavering. There we go. So we've lost 47 men in total, that's completely fine. We are building up our barracks, so we should be able to retrain the hoplites pretty quickly. And we've taken our second town in Sicily. Okay, so this is one of our early towns, so we are just going to occupy it. I can see that I've forgotten to adjust the tax rates over in Syracuse. Hopefully there hasn't been too much damage done, let's have a look. So nothing on this page, let's just burn all of that. Check this, so we can see that all of the Romans have declared war on us, that's pretty much what we expected. Okay, so rioting in this town, we don't appear to have had any buildings damaged, so fairly small issue really, it's not really going to be a big problem. We just need to retrain a few peasants, and I think because they are coming towards us to attack us, let's go ahead and train up some more militia hoplites. Let's train some up in Masana as well. And if this guy does come to attack us, I think we should be fine. We do have lots of walls, so he can't attack us on turn 1. If we look over here at the Brutii guy, he's got some Hastartes and Velites. He's probably stronger than we are, so we're going to have to go in and attack Athens so that we can start sending over some units to reinforce. There's a pretty good chance that Apollonia is going to go down. Best thing we can do is just throw up a palisade. Probably recruit some peasants. No, literally, peasants are so bad that I have no faith they're going to help us. I'm going to join these guys up. I really want to join these guys up to my main force, but we're still boxed in by a Macedonian captain. Unfortunately, I think we just have to go for this. Okay, once again, we're going to go for a night battle, and we're just going to have to see how it goes. We are going to take losses here because we don't have any ranged units, but we do have better units overall.
Now cheer, you children of Zeus, and sound the advance!
So because we have a spine here, we can actually just go straight in, so that's perfect. We're going to take some damage from the towers as we go in. probably slightly better if we lead with the hoplites, because Spartan hoplites are not good at taking shots. Okay, so we're going to take these guys out of phalanx formation. Let's see. Okay, so unfortunately there is a unit of militia hoplites right there, right at the front. So, might actually be better off, instead of trying to make that work, let's just get our Spartan hoplites back on the siege tower, and let's go on the walls and just take on the peltasts there.
Our siege towers have reached the walls. Now there will be hard fighting to break the defenses.
Okay, losing a Spartan is kind of painful because they're not currently replaceable, but to take a town this good is definitely worth losing a few, and later on in the campaign we will be able to retrain them. Okay, here we go. So I believe we can't use phalanx formation on the walls, but Spartans are actually pretty much almost as good with a sword as they are with a spear, so we should be fine just to take this as a straight fight. I think they're starting to come towards us. Yep, so we're going to have a melee fight here on the walls. We've already lost someone, I think, or maybe they just got knocked down. This is going to be very much a close quarters fight. No, we've not lost anyone. So we just speed this up. We should be able to cut through them pretty quickly. Yeah, they're doing pretty much nothing to us. We're killing them off. That all seems completely fine. So my hope is that once we've taken these guys out, we have lost a few, but that's fine. Once we've taken these guys out, we might just be able to scare these guys to go somewhere else, because I don't want to fight them while they're in phalanx formation. The alternative would be I could send my general round, and I could come in through here instead.
Now's the time to press on and capture this place.
That might actually work, and in fact, that might be the best option. Another thing is we have of course captured the gate tower now, which means we are firing arrows down on them, and in theory we could just wait until we've killed a lot of them. I probably am going to go for the long game here, it does make sense, so I'm going to send the rest of my units around the other side instead, and we're going to approach them from an angle that doesn't send us headfirst into an enemy phalanx. I think that is going to be for the best. This particular route is not going to work because it brings us too close to the towers, so let's go up to the side instead. None of these guys are in phalanx formation, so they can move pretty quickly. I don't want to waste too much of their stamina, but honestly I think it should be completely fine. Okay, let's just rush our hoplites in, and hopefully once we've taken the walls, the opposing hoplites will all fall back to the town square. Yeah, we're getting really badly shot here. I'm going to see if I can capture this, or I take too many more losses. Yeah, a lot of losses to that tower there, but we have now captured it. That was really expensive in terms of losses, that kind of sucks. Alright, let's see. So we got 2 units of hoplites here. We can see their general unit is over here. Ideally we want to try and bait them out of the town square, because we want to try and rout them. We want to try and win this with a rout. Slow this down again. Let's return to these guys. Let's see what's going on here. So over here we can see these guys are now down to 69. We're probably safe just to charge them. Yeah, they're already shaken. As soon as they see us, they slightly break ranks. In fact, they are going to try and fall back to the town square. That's fine. Let's check on these guys again. So there's a chance we could be hit in the back, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Bring these guys up too. Slightly concerned about this. I am sort of setting myself up to be flanked, but it's the wrong unit. Whoops. Okay. We're going to go with normal hoplites against these. We're going to check back on these so we can see that we have successfully driven these guys off. They're going around that way. Should be faster to go this way. I think we can probably just go for a pincer movement here. Okay, so they're coming towards us. We're probably not going to be able to pull off the pincer move, but I am going to send these guys in just to attack, just in case these guys are still holding out. Alright, so you guys need to get into phalanx formation. And now we do outnumber them, so I think we should be okay. We do have superior units too. Our Spartans are still a way off. bring our general up. Let's see what's happening. So, they've got a pretty good formation here, but we should be okay. Gonna send these guys in, see if we can attack from the side. Okay, pathfinding here is... oh dear, I selected the wrong units. Pathfinding here is unpleasant, so our general is potentially putting himself in danger. I'm not sure where he is exactly. There he is. Okay, so let's just try and keep him away from trouble. There we go, he's made it out, so we don't have to worry. General's bodyguards do completely regenerate over time, so it doesn't really matter too much if you lose those types of units.
The enemy general flees! Press forward so that the spirit of his army is a broken tool! The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us! It is time to press the attack!
Alright, so we've taken these guys out. I'm hoping that means these guys will rout pretty quickly. I don't really want to risk my hoplites there, so I'm going to send in the militia hoplites and just hope that they break. Don't know where these guys are. Yeah, okay, so you can see we've actually lost several Spartan hoplites to the towers there. They're really not good at taking shots from towers. Let's still bring them up, we might need them. We can see we have successfully routed the next unit of opposing hoplites, and we've completely cleared them out. Okay, so next thing to do is to form a phalanx in front of the town square. Okay, looks like we're not going to be able to bait them in. But as soon as we step on the town square, that usually brings them to life. Let's see. No, they're staying in place. I think they're kind of responding. We should be fine here. This should be completely safe. So it's just a standard unit of militia hoplites. I don't really want to involve the Spartans, so I'll see if I can avoid doing that. These guys are just about managing in terms of pathfinding, so that's all good. Alright, let's see. They're coming in straight towards our Spartans. Let's make sure we're all in phalanx formation. And let's hit them in the back, try and protect as many Spartans as we can. Is this our leader going in for the first charge? Yeah, I don't want to do that. Let's have him rally the troops. Slows him down slightly. He's still in the front. I don't like that. Let's try this now. Leader is slightly further back. Spartans are going in. Send these guys in too. So we can't rout them here, so it is a case of just having to try and kill them. Need to make sure our faction leader doesn't get caught. Not a faction leader, but our general. He's towards the back, so he should be pretty safe. And these guys should go down pretty quickly. Yep, they're pretty much all dead already. Perfect, so that is this fight over, and we've taken Athens.
This is a victory fit for the gods, a day of triumph to mark with a song or two.
We have conquered!
Okay, so Athens is actually fairly happy with us for now, but we are going to have to send some of our units out. So let's retrain the militia hoplites. Let's pick up a new unit of those. And yeah, I think safest thing to do is don't take any chances. We just need to move towards Apollonia. Unfortunately, this guy is also blocking in the rest of our units, but because this is now officially our territory, I think the AI should respond by moving him away. So that is a bit of a waste of a turn. I'm hoping I've not locked him in place there. But hopefully this guy is going to move out next turn, and we should be fine after that. Send the militia hoplites back. We can. Nope. Done that wrong. Okay, never mind. Alright, so in Athens, we're going to go ahead and build a port, because once again, that is fantastic for our income. Over in Byzantium, I'm still not massively confident in these forces. We can't pick up any more mercenaries, so I think I'm going to send this ship back to Pergamum. And we're going to go ahead and pick up an extra unit of militia hoplites. Board the ships. We'll recruit another. And we'll send these guys up to reinforce. Over in Apollonia, we're going to pick up another unit of Peltas, because they should be better than nothing against the Brutii here. I'm a little bit concerned about this. This could be really tough. But we've already started consolidating our lands pretty well. The wild card here is Macedon. We don't quite know what's going to happen with them. We probably could go to war with them. Corinth is looking pretty weak. We could probably take that, and once we do, that gets us the Statue of Zeus, which is going to make public order a lot easier to manage. I do want to try and keep things focused on the Romans for now though, because I think if we're not stretched, that's going to make things a lot easier, particularly as we're going to have Pontus approaching from the east pretty soon. And I'm going to send this guy to go and have a look for them. But we've taken Athens, we've taken Apollonia, we've taken Masana, and we're on our way to taking Byzantium, so I think we've done enough for part 1. Do check the playlist link in the description in order to carry on watching, and if I've not uploaded any further episodes, you can of course subscribe to the channel to catch them as they're uploaded. But that's all for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.